वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तराधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। A very warm welcome to you all. So today is the fifth day of our learning Bhagavad Gita. So we have studied the first 11 verses. So now we will move on to verse 12. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanadam vinaddauchai shankham dadmau pratapavan. Tasya, his, sanjanayan, increasing, harsham, cheerfulness, Kuru Vridhaha, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, that is Bhishma Deva, Pitamaha, the grandfather, Simhanadam, a roaring sound like that of a lion, Vinadya, vibrating, Uchchaihi, very loudly, Shankham, conch shell, Dadmau, blew, Pratapavan, the valiant. So then Bhishma Deva, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So we see, being the eldest and the most intelligent, Bhishma Deva well understood that Duryodhana was secretly afraid in his heart, and therefore we see in from verse 2nd Duryodhana how he was internally afraid and approached the teacher Dronacharya. दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानिकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसंगम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत्. From verse 2 we saw this, but Dronacharya was little offended with Duryodhana, because at this crucial moment also Duryodhana was stick to his diplomacy, and which actually offended Dronacharya. So he was not very happy, and we see that he did not utter a single word. The conversation was completely one-sided from Duryodhana's side. And here we see Bhishma Deva, in his mind, he thinks like this, that whether he praises me or defames me, like Duryodhana was giving a special honor and special protection to Bhishma Deva, as we saw in the last verse, verse 11, Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitam. So that verse. So Bhishma Deva says in his mind that whether he praises me or defames me, it is for sure that my body is going to fall for this, for his sake only. And with this intention, Bhishma Deva, by way of encouraging Duryodhana, blew his conch shell and made a lion roar also, which is quite befitting to his position. So we see here, yes, yes, from Bhishma Deva's side, we see, though he blew the conch shell very loudly, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle, because the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna was on the other side. But still, it was his duty to conduct the fight as the chief commander, so he is doing. So that is Bhishma Deva's idea. So with this, we will now move on to the next verse, that is verse 13. Tata shankascha bheryascha parnavanaka gomukha sahasaivabhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat. Tataha, thereafter, shankhaha, conch shells, cha, also, bheryaha, large drums, cha, and Panava Anaka, small drums and kettle drums, Gomukha, horns, Sahasa, all of a sudden, Eva, certainly, Abhyahanyanta, were simultaneously sounded, Saha, that, Shabdaha, combined sound, Tumulaha, tumultuous, Abhavat, became. So after that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. So the idea is here in this verse, though the sound produced was by the Kaurava army, from Bhishma Deva's side, his lion roar and conch shell first, and then followed by all the other instruments like different drums, cow horns, etc. The sound produced was indeed tumultuous, but the Pandavas were not shaken by the sound, though the sound started resonating the entire space. So we see in the next verse how beautifully the picture of Arjuna's chariot is there. Okay, so verse 14. Tatah shveterhayiryukte mahati syandane stitau madhava pandavaschaiva divyau shankhau pradatmatuhu. Tatah, thereafter, shvetaihi, with white, hayaihi, horses, yukte, being yoked, mahati, in a great, syandane, chariot, stitau, situated, madhavaha, Krishna, the husband of the goddess fortune, that is Lakshmi Devi's husband. In that position, Krishna is known as Madhava. So Pandavaha Arjuna, the son of Pandu, Cha also, Eva certainly, Divyau transcendental, Shankhau conchs, Pradatmatuhu sounded. So on the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conchs. So here we see the beautiful image of Arjuna's chariot. This chariot was very big and gorgeous, covered by gold, very stout and beautiful. Numerous flags were attached to it. Those were tagged with little bells, stars, moons, and Hanumanji's insignia in the on the flag. And the colorful flags on the white extraordinary chariot was looking like a rainbow. 4 handsome, stunning, powerful horses were yoked to it. This chariot, Arjuna's chariot, was actually gifted by the demigod, fire god, that is Agni Deva. And we see the horses were also gifted by the well-known Gandharva, Chitraratha. So we see here how Arjuna and Krishna is beautifully seen in this particular beautiful white horse yoked chariot. And here we see the sounding of the transcendental conchs indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side, because Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, as we saw in the previous verse also. So in the Shastra, it is said that Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardanaha. That is, victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. Here Janardana means Jana Ardana, that is he who afflicts the creatures. So here these creatures are standing in the opposite side as the Kaurava army. So that is why it is said that Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardanam. So therefore victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conchs of Krishna. Divyau Shankhau Pradatmatu. These transcendental conchs were blown by we will see in the next verse how everybody, all the Pandavas, and of course Shri Krishna himself is going to blow the conchs. So verse 15, Panchajanyam Hrishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Pondram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Panchajanyam, the conchal named Panchajanya. Rishikeshaha, that is Rishikesha means Rishika Ishaha. Rishika means the senses and Isha means the controller. Devadattam, the conchal named Devadatta. Dhananjayaha, Dhananjaya, that is Arjuna, winner or conqueror of the wealth. Poundram, the conch named Poundra. Dadmau, blew. Mahashankham, the terrific conchal. Bhima Karma, one who performs Herculean tasks. Vrika Udaraha, the voracious eater Bhima. So Lord Krishna blew his conchal called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch called Poundra. So here we see a few words are significant in this verse. First is Rishikesha. Rishikesha, as we just said, Indriya, that is Rishika, is Indriya, that is sense organs. And their lord, Isha, is called Rishikesha, that is Krishna. So we see Bhagavan is the source of all pleasure, bliss, and all opulence. That is why he is Rishika Isha, that is Rishikesha. And here we see at this moment also, as the charioteer of Arjuna's chariot, he is actually performing as Rishikesha. That is, he is in full control of Arjuna's senses here. And we will see also as we will study the later verses, the later chapters. He is how beautifully, in second chapter only we will see that how beautifully Lord is controlling all the senses and his mind, especially the most dangerous sense of all the senses, that is our mind, how he is controlling Arjuna's mind. So this is very befitting, this particular adjective here, Rishikesha. So Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses as Paramatma. He is actually controlling all our senses. But he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Actually sitting in the cave of our heart as Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, is controlling all our senses. But the people who are not surrendered, who are not that faithful, they cannot understand that control. But who are truly devoted, completely devoted, they can very well understand. And Arjuna, being a completely surrendered soul, he will be absolutely controlled by the Lord. And that is why, in spite of his distress and everything, we will see how beautifully he will overcome by the total surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. So we see why Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya here. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya because during the Rajasuya sacrifice of King Yudhishthira, Arjuna subjugated all the kings of the whole world and accumulated huge wealth. So that is why, as he conquered the huge wealth of the entire world, he is named as Dhananjaya. Dhanam means wealth, Jaya means who has means conquering, Jaya conquering over. So Dhananjaya. Now Panchajanya, Panchajanya is the conch of Sri Krishna. Here we see Panchajan was a demon who looked like a terrible conch. And Bhagavan killed him as Vishnu, and accepted him as his conch. So it is taken, this reference is there in Harivamsa. And we see Devadatta, that is Arjuna's conch. It was given as gift by Indra Deva during the battle against Nivata Kavacha demons. When Arjuna fought Nivata Kavacha demons, then Indra Deva gifted this conch to Arjuna. And it has a furious sound which made the opponent party tremble in the war. So this is also there in the Vana Parva of Mahabharata. This is mentioned there. So the next is Bhima Karma, that is the valorous and horrifying who perform all these valorous and terrifying deeds. That is why he is Bhima Karma. Bhima means horrifying and valorous. Karma means deeds. So what kind of valorous or horrifying deeds Bhimasena performed? The most significant at that point of time was killing the demon called Hidimba, who was very, very powerful. And Vrikodara means who is a voracious eater. As we know, Bhima Karma used to eat a lot. He was absolutely, such a big belly, and always he felt like hungry, and that is why he was a voracious eater. So we see the particular types of conch blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credit, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. As we know, Lakshmi Devi is always present with Narayana. She never leaves without Lord Narayana. So where is Krishna? The good fortune will be there, accompanied by. So we see that was the message announced by the sounds of these divine conchs. The next three verses together we will chant. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpakau Kashyascha Parameshvasaha Shikhandi cha Maharatha Drishtadyumno Viratascha Satyakishcha Parajitaha Drupado Draupadeyaschcha Sarvashah Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahu Shankhan Dadhmo Prithak Prithak. So Ananta Vijayam, the conch named Ananta Vijaya, Raja, the king, Kunti Putraha, the son of Kunti, Yudhishthiraha, Yudhishthira, Nakulaha, Nakula, Sahadevaha, Sahadeva, Cha, and Sughosha Manipushpakau, the conchs named Sughosha and Manipushpaka. Kashya, the king of Kashi, that is Varanasi. Cha, and Parama Ishu Asaha, the great archer. Shikhandi, Cha, also. Maharathaha, one who can fight alone against thousands. Drishtadyumnaha, Drishtadyumna, the son of King Drupada. Virataha, Virata, the prince who gave shelter to the Pandavas while they were in disguise. Cha, also. Satyakihi, Satyaki, the same as Yuyudhana, the charioteer of Lord Krishna. Cha, and Aparajitaha, who had never been vanquished. Drupadaha, Drupada, the king of Panchala. Draupadeyaha, the sons of Draupadi. Cha, also. Saravashaha, all. Prithivipate, O king. Saubhadraha, Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra. Cha, also. Mahabahu, mighty armed. Shankhan, conch shells. Dadmuhu, blue. Prithak prithak, each separately. So King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka conch shells respectively. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. So here we see Sanjaya informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that this unwise policy of depriving and deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons, Duryodhana, and the party on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. Absolutely not. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhishma, down to the grandsons like Abhimanyu and others. Including kings from many states of the world, all were present there and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sinful sons, Duryodhana and the party. So we all understand it very well what Dhritarashtra did. It is not at all praiseworthy. He could understand it very well that what his sons are doing, it is absolutely unethical, unnecessarily disturbing the Pandavas, depriving them, cheating them in as many ways as possible. It cannot be praiseworthy at all. But Dhritarashtra, as he is blind externally and internally, he always supported these sinful activities of his own sons. Here, for Yudhishthira, specifically mentioning Kunti Putra is very significant here. Most of us know this, that Nakula and Sahadeva, the other two brothers mentioned in this verse, are not Kunti Devi's sons. They are the sons of Madri Devi, the second wife of King Pandu. So that is why here specifically it is mentioned that Kunti Putra Yudhishthira and Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthira, that is Raja and Kunti Putra, both are the adjectives for Yudhishthira here. So Kunti Putra is okay, that is the son of Kunti. And why Raja? As we all know that Yudhishthira had lost his kingship at that time, and that is why this battle. So in spite of that, why he is addressed as Raja by Sanjaya? Because he was a great king. In the past, when he performed the Rajasuya sacrifice, as we just learned, that Arjuna conquered so many wealth during the Rajasuya sacrifice. So during that span of time, before going to the 12 years of exile to the forest and 1 year of incognito, that 13 years. So prior to that, Yudhishthira performed this Rajasuya sacrifice. And he was, after that, he was titled as the Chakrabarti Raja. Those days, it was the custom. The king who would perform a Rajasuya sacrifice, that is by subjugating all other kings in the whole world, he used to be titled as Chakrabarti Raja. So Sanjaya was quite sure here also that he is going to be the king again after this battle, because definitely as Shri Krishna is there on the side of the Pandavas and they are all virtuous people, so definitely they will come out victorious. There was no doubt in the mind of Sanjaya. So that is why he is very spontaneously calling Yudhishthira as Raja. Okay. So one more verse we can learn today. Saghoshodhartarashtraणं hridayani vyadarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulobhyanunadayan. This is verse 19. Saha, that, ghoshaha, vibration, dhartarashtranam, of the sons of Dhritarashtra, hridayani, hearts, vyadarayat, shattered, nabhaha, the sky, cha, also, prithivim, the surface of the earth, cha, also, eva, certainly, tumulaha, uproarious, abhyanunadayan, resounding. So the blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So we see when Bhishma Deva and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas, as we studied earlier also. Such occurrences are not mentioned there. But in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas' party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. As they were virtuous, moreover, Lord Krishna was there on their side. So we see one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear. They become fearless, even in the midst of great calamity. This is the most remarkable characteristic of the devotees. When they completely surrender to the Lord, no matter adverse the situation may be around them, but they are always steady and fearless. Because they are completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. So that is why we see here also, they are not disturbed Pandavas are not disturbed by the tumultuous sound produced by the Kaurava army, whereas the hearts of Duryodhana and the party is shaking by the sound produced by the transcendental conchs of the Pandavas and of course of Shri Krishna. So so this was verse 19. So with this now we will conclude today's session. From verse 20 we will study in our next class.